A recent social media trend has many Kent students upset with the university. What Kent had to say in response to the action figure controversy.
It may not feel quite like summer yet, but that isn't stopping Kent State's Flashes Activity Board from hosting an on-campus block party.
A lawsuit trying to find the revocation of student visas was filed in Georgia. More details on the case and its defendants.
Hong Kong retaliates against President Trump's tariffs. How this decision will affect future packages coming and going to Hong Kong. All this and more as KSTV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and thank you for joining us this Wednesday. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Lex Rady.
Well, we start tonight's show with reactions to a Kent State University Instagram post depicting an AI-generated action figure of the school's mascot, Flash.
Though part of a social media trend, the post drew criticism for utilizing artificial intelligence rather than using student artwork. Our reporter Sydney Brown has more.
That's right. So I have the post here. Kent State University posted 2 days ago this AI trend utilizing the action figure. Here it's our mascot Flash, but it's turned up quite a bit of discourse with 46 comments that are pretty dissatisfied with the university's choice to participate in the trend. Comments that are dissatisfied are pointing to students on campus who are artists or are designing things similar who could have been asked instead of using AI. Now, I spoke to students to hear what their reactions were in person.
Like some of my friends are artists, it's replacing them as well. And I feel like if you're using AI, you should use for it grammar maybe, but other than that, really not.
Put our brains together with its artificial brain and get something really something really nice going. I don't think it has to necessarily be a bad thing if we just don't forget about the humanity that is the majority of what we do here in college, like utilizing the students who felt a way about, and now they feel like it's a slap in the face of them because what am I paying $30,000 on estimate per year for to do this, and then you're not allowing me to do it at the same school that I'm studying.
I reached out to the university for comment on this post, and they said their social media team is always looking for new ways to engage with their audience and that they encourage feedback from community members when they're planning content. This was from Emily Vincent, the director of University Media Relations. We know this technology and artificial intelligence aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Tomorrow I'll have more on what this means and how the university is incorporating it into our curriculum. For Kent Stater TV News, I'm Sydney Brown.
Thank you, Sydney. Tonight is Fab's block party from 6 to 8 on the Risman Plaza in Student Green. There will be music, inflatables, food trucks like Rolling Refreshments and Brooks Homestyle Barbecue, with plenty of giveaways. The first 200 students will get a Fab block party t-shirt. Be sure to dress for the chilly weather and get ready to celebrate the end of the year with Fab.
Keeping up with campus events, the John S. and Marlene J. Brenzo Center for Entrepreneurship is celebrating their annual spring pitch competition. The event features 6 student teams pitching their businesses Shark Tank style in front of a panel of judges. The pitching is taking place tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. and is open to the public. For those who have completed Foundations of Communications workshop, there is another Essential Skills for Supervisors workshop. This one on handling very important conversations. Participants will learn and practice techniques to stay calm during difficult conversations, as well as recognizing your own personal triggers that can create a more challenging conversation. The workshop is at 8:30 a.m. in Here Hall, room 117. And staying on campus, Kent State Center for Sexual and Relationship Violence Support Services, or SERVS, is hosting an Empower Walk. Participants will walk a total of 7,300 steps with survivors to represent every 73 seconds someone in the U.S. is assaulted. The walk is taking place tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. on the outdoor DeWeese track.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening. We've been going through a major freeze with rain, heavy winds, and snow to boot. Looking at what's going on right outside our windows, we are not dealing with as much of that today. It's currently 45 degrees and it feels like 40, although it is sunny, so that difference isn't as noticeable as it would be. The wind is going northwest 12 miles per hour, which is why it is as cold as it is, and the moon phase is currently in waning gibbous, with that full moon occurring this past Saturday night. Now, going into my forecast for tomorrow, I am happy to report it's going to be much better than what we've been dealing with these past few days. It's going to be a high of 62 degrees, and aside from a few clouds in the afternoon, it's going to be a sunny day and be a lot warmer than what we've been dealing with. Wind is also going to be relatively mild, going southbound at 7 miles per hour, and your sunset is at 8:07 p.m. Now let's dive into specifically what your day is going to look like. Tomorrow at 8 a.m., if you have an early class like I do, it is still going to be chilly. It's going to be 33 degrees, but that sun will be out to start the day. By 12 p.m., you can see that the temperature is going to jump dramatically, going to 51 degrees from that 33 degree mark, and it will still be very sunny. Now at 4 p.m., the clouds are going to enter, but that won't affect temperatures as much because the wind is also not going to increase, and it will be 60 degrees. And there's more of that good weather where that came from. Stay tuned as I take you across the state of Ohio and give you a bird's eye view into the forecast for your week.
Thank you, Sophia. Details have been released in the Monday night standoff at the Crocker Park Apartments. Police were called to the area at 11:30 p.m. after witnesses reported a man pointing a rifle out of his upper window or balcony. The 54-year-old suspect was taken into custody around 1 a.m. and charged with inducing panic. No shots were fired in the incident. After searching the apartment, officers found 13 firearms, and the suspect was reportedly being evicted.
The Youngstown firefighter who was recently accused of pointing a firearm at someone from a neighboring fire department has been placed on leave. 34-year-old Adaris Bellamy is facing a charge of aggravated menacing and a first-degree misdemeanor. Court records indicate that Bellamy was ordered to have no contact with Warren Township Fire Department and to surrender all firearms.
After Akron Superintendent Dr. Michael Robinson was placed on administrative leave last night, the internal report conducted was released to the press. The 24-page report details how Robinson created a hostile and retaliatory environment and that Robinson said that he was ordained by God. Robinson also implied that harm would come upon those who opposed him. The board will have a final decision on his employment before the next board meeting on April 28th.
A new nightly light show in downtown Cleveland will be kicking off tonight at dusk. Public Square will be illuminated with a synchronizing light display set to music for 6 minutes at the top of every hour. Officials say that for the rest of each hour, the Terminal Tower's nightly color theme will extend onto other buildings around Public Square.
Shooting at a Dallas high school that left 5 students injured. More on the suspect and the status of the victims.
The government is now requiring a special license for computer manufacturing companies to export chips to China. How this affects corporations, coming up after the break.
Can you help me?
Mom, Dad, we're going out.
Thank you.
Oh, look, they're playing chess.
What you got there?
Will you help my mom?
She's real sick, huh? Hey, crew, I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
You heard them, organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for all.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. she gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. There have been growing concerns across college campuses in Northeast Ohio over international students facing sudden termination of their student visas.
In the last 2 weeks, students attending universities such as Case Western Reserve and the University of Akron reported students having their visas terminated, while Kent State has 1 current student and 3 recent graduates on postgraduate work permits losing their visas.
Right now, a federal lawsuit is aiming to stop the revocation of visas for international students, along with reinstating visas for those who have already been revoked.
Our correspondent Gage Wellman is here in the studio to tell us more about the case, along with other top national stories.
Yes, thank you, Lex and Liv. These last few weeks have caused a whirlwind in our national news coverage, and today is no different. Starting in Atlanta, a lawsuit filed last night in the District Court of Northern Georgia aims to stop the revocation of international student visas while also reinstating any that have been revoked. The lawsuit, which currently holds the cases of over 130 international students, was filed by an Atlanta-based immigration firm. It names 3 Trump administration officials as defendants: Attorney General Pam Bondi, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and ICE Director Todd Lyons. 5 students are now hospitalized after a shooting at Wilmer Hutchins High School in Dallas, Texas. The injured victims ranged in age from 15 to 18 and have injuries that range from serious to non-life-threatening. The 17-year-old suspected of causing the shooting turned himself into police before he was charged with aggravated assault and mass shooting. In a new executive order signed by President Trump, the 45th and 7th president aims to lower prescription drug prices. An anonymous White House official told reporters ahead of signing that the order will deliver lower prices to senior citizens and improve the Medicare drug price negotiation program, which was signed into law in 2022 via the Inflation Reduction Act. Sticking in the Peach State, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke at a town hall in Atlanta on Tuesday in support of President Trump. Multiple people showed up in protest, 3 of whom were arrested by police on misdemeanor charges of battery and obstruction. They mainly took umbrage with the president's tariff policies. U.S. federal judge James Boasberg is saying that he can hold the Trump administration in contempt of court for disregarding an order to stop deportation flights of up to 200 people to El Salvador. The Trump administration is invoking the Alien and Sedition Acts of 1798, which put restrictions on immigration. However, in a recent ruling, the Supreme Court did confirm that Trump can use the near 230-year-old law. Boasberg responded to SCOTUS saying the ruling does not excuse the violation. For national headlines and more, head to kentstater.com. Gage Wellman, KSTV.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm. This is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back. Behind me, I have temperatures across the state of Ohio, and you can see we are starting to get out of this wintry freeze that we've been dealing with earlier this month. Up in Toledo, it's going to be sunny, 53 degrees, and the Akron-Canton area is a little bit colder, 46, but everyone is above 50 degrees. You can see Pittsburgh at 52 and Columbus at 54, and then Cincinnati, all the way down here in the corner, is at 61 degrees. So we are already starting to feel the warmth that I had described earlier. Now, going into our neck of the woods, it's going to be a lot of similar temperatures. You see you got 50 over here in Sandusky, and then the 44, 45, 46 pretty much across the northeastern part of the state. The only one a little bit colder is Ashtabula at 42, and same thing with Whitetown, my town. Now, going into my forecast for the week, I'm happy to report things are going to get warmer and stay that way. Tomorrow is going to be a high of 62 degrees, and it's going to be a very sunny day. Definitely a good time to get outside if you haven't in the recent days. On Friday, it's going to get warm, a high of 78 degrees, and it's going to have clouds in the morning and sun in the afternoon. So if you don't have many plans, maybe you don't have classes on Friday, this would be a great day to get out and enjoy the sun. In your Easter weekend, I am forecasting a stretch of precipitation, a 91% chance on Saturday, even though it is a high of 68 degrees. So if you are commuting on this day, be careful on the roads. On Easter morning on Sunday, it's going to be a 40% chance of rain in the morning. However, this could increase or decrease as the week continues, that high being 59 degrees. On Monday to start our week, the rain is staying. There's a 50% chance in the area, but that temperature is nothing to sneeze at, high of 73 degrees. Can't complain about things like this. On Tuesday, it's going to cool down a little bit as a result of this rain with a high of 60 degrees and a low of 44. And this time next week, it will be a high of 69 degrees, a low of 48 and partly cloudy. For more details on this precipitation over the weekend and your weather forecast on the whole, you can always tune in right here with us at KSTV. From the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Sophia Sonato.
Thanks, Sophia. We now turn to our correspondent Claire Duber for the latest updates in news across the world.
Claire, what can you tell us?
Hello guys, yes, a lot is happening right now from Hong Kong to the latest updates from Israel. Beginning with Hong Kong announcing today that they will be suspending its postal service for packages in or out of the United States due to Donald Trump's decision to eliminate an exemption for items posted from Hong Kong to the United States. Beginning on April 27th, Hong Kong will no longer be taking transported packages. Nvidia, a computer manufacturing corporation, announced in a regulatory filing yesterday that the government is now requiring a special license for its H20 chips to be exported to China. H20 chips are specifically made for U.S. export controls in China. This results with Nvidia saying it will take a $5.5 billion financial hit. Ollanta Humala, Peru's former president, has recently been found guilty of money laundering and sentenced to 15 years in prison, as well as his wife Nadine Heredia, who was also found guilty of money laundering and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Humala's lawyer said he would appeal against conviction. Heading over to the Middle East, Israel's defense minister announced on Wednesday that troops will remain in so-called security zones within the Gaza Strip, Lebanon, and Syria. Israel forces have taken over more than half of Gaza in a renewed campaign, meaning this could further complicate talks with Hamas over a ceasefire and hostage release. Today, Pope Francis met with a total of 70 hospital leaders and staff who treated him while he was hospitalized last month for 38 days due to contracting a double pneumonia infection and 2 near-death incidents. The Pope thanked everyone, and he assured them he would pray for them as he asked for prayers for himself. For updates on these stories and more, you can go to kentstater.com. For KSTV, I'm Claire Duber.
Thanks, Claire. America's top cop just added a few more badges to his collection. Find out more about DJ Daniels' record-setting swearing ahead.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Today, Cleveland Pro Soccer announced that it is bringing a D2 WPSL Pro team to Cleveland, and they are set to hit the pitch in 2027.
That's right. The newly created pro team will bridge the gap between amateur and professional teams. Now the ownership group is getting ready to build a new 10,000-seat stadium.
Cleveland is one of the 7 founding WPSL pro markets, and this is great news for soccer fans. I know I'm excited. How about you, Lex?
I am so excited.
I mean, having a women's team in Cleveland, that's going to be
that's
awesome. How about
amazing.
you? Jordan, our sports correspondent, what do you think?
I think it's amazing that Cleveland is bringing more women's sports to Ohio. But for now, let's bring it home to Kent. Kent State softball is back at Divine Diamond for a doubleheader showdown against Buffalo. The Flashes are fueled by senior Delaney Robeson, who leads the team with 39 hits and 27 RBIs. Junior Bryn Leiber brings home a momentum with a 7-game hitting streak, while freshman pitcher Ella Johnson has been dominating on the mound, tallying a team high of 50 strikeouts. Kent State's Hayden Yatsak and Aiden Bath earned MAC Weekly honors for standout performances. Yatsak, a KSU baseball star, powered the Flashes offense with 13 RBIs across games against Ohio State and Miami, hitting his 8th home run and 20th double of the season. Bath, a member of the track and field team, broke the Duke Invitational Decathlon record with 7,466 points and ranks 15th nationally. His 25-foot long jump is number 1 in the MAC and top 20 in the NCAA. MLB fans, get your hot dogs out because the season is in full swings. We have the Baltimore Orioles and the Cleveland Guardians in their first match of the series. The first 2 innings went by with no action, so we're taking it to the top of the 3rd. The Orioles have Logan Allen starting on the mound, and Jose Ramirez is up to bat and sends it left center. Still at the top of the 3rd, Carlos Santina pops it up right into the right field. O'Neill's coming a long way. He lost his hat and gets it done with the double play. The 4th inning went by with no change, and now we're at the top of the 5th. O'Neill gets it again into the same spot, but he's not able to get it in before the Cleveland Guardians score. It's 2-0. Charlie Morton takes his place at the mound to try and make a difference, but he sends it straight into Stephen Kwan's sweet spot, and he beams it right, and that's a 2-run homer for the Guardians. It's now the top of the 6th, and Kwan is up to bat yet again, and it's a ground ball here. It gets away from George Mateo, and the Guards will get their 6th and final run. The Orioles were not able to make it. They only got 3 runs, but it wasn't enough to get past the Guardians. The first game of the series goes to Cleveland 6-3. The Guards will look to keep their momentum rolling tonight as they face the Orioles for their 2nd match of the series. First pitch is set for 6:35, and you can tune in to the Cleveland Guardians Network to catch the action. And that's all the action I have for you tonight. For KSTV, I'm Jordan Hiles.
We've all heard about emotional support animals, but how about a dog that can actually smell when you're stressed? We have more with this story after the break.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one.
Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe.
Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to CISA.gov/secure our world.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Now, many police officers work their entire lives just to swear into one police department. But how about 203 at the same time? That was the reality last night for cancer survivor DJ Daniels, who was sworn into 203 departments simultaneously across the country. Daniels, affectionately nicknamed America's top cop, was named a Secret Service agent during President Trump's address to Congress last month.
This 2-year-old lab may look sweet, but don't let his cuteness fool you. Golden Retriever Duke is an incident response dog working for the Burnsville Police Department. Instead of sniffing out drugs, he is trained to sniff out cortisol, the stress hormone in people. His role? To bring comfort and calming energy to people when they need it the most. Now, this story, it comes in a very timely manner.
Yeah.
Because I actually texted my mom the other day, like, I want a dog so badly. And Mom, I know you're watching this right now. You're one of our viewers. Yes, hi, Mrs. Radical. But I just would like to say, I think that it's a sign, Mom, and Liv, you can back me up here, that I should get a dog.
What kind of dog would you like?
A golden retriever would be kind of ideal, especially that golden retriever Duke. I would love to have you just sniff my scent of stress, so to speak, except I know when I'm stressed, and everybody else around me kind of knows when I'm stressed, so I don't think it's really necessary to have a dog like that. But for me personally, at least. But maybe, I don't know, like, what dog would you get?
I don't know. I have a dog right now. She is a Maltese Yorkie mix. She's very little, but I've always wondered what it would be like to kind of have a bigger dog.
Yeah.
I definitely think absolutely. Maybe you can train your dog to sniff out gluten for you, so you don't gluten yourself.
There are dogs that do that. There are actual dogs that they are service animals and they're trained to sniff out gluten. So
there's a GoFundMe link in her bio. Anyways, that's all the time we have for you guys tonight.
For all these stories and more, be sure to check out KentStater.com. I'm Lex Rady.
And I'm Liz Sharp. Have a great night, Portage County.
In the time it takes to play a new album, you can get answers to deep questions like, were all those clubs in your 20s really such a bad thing? Hey, no judgment, but it's possible concerts weren't music to your ears.
1 in 4 people over 20 now have signs of noise-induced hearing loss. So let's see a hearing professional and get those ears checked.
Answers are good. Your moves? Not bad.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.